Part 2. Second part of Superhuman Battlefield. Remember to like, subscribe, and press the bell icon for more updates. So let's start. Walker continues to yell at him that he can't just waste his potential on lying. On the couch, Park Jin-tae believes that this situation can be taken advantage of. At home, the viewing of doramas is interrupted by urgent news about the new duel between Ko Moon-ap and Gerald Walker leaked to the network, at the end of which Ko Moon-ap promised to take part in the Battlefield games if the U.S. national team in the upcoming A match could go ahead with the score of 0 minutes 11 without deaths. Ko Moon-ap is absolutely furious because he never promised or even thought about such a thing. In the Korean Battlefield Association, Ko Moon-ap arranges the director who was the anonymous informant and who leaked the video of complete route, wanting to find out from his conversation with Gerald, completely distorting it. Park Jin-tae deeply bows to the main character, apologizing for being too weak and unable to refuse a player like Gerald Walker. The president, in addition to the American, was pressured by the authorities. However, Park Jin-tae promises that this will not happen because even though the level of South Korea is quite low, even they will not be able to lose without a single person killed. This condition was added by the director himself because the American team is not that strong. The American representatives agreed to this almost impossible condition only because everyone knows about the difficult nature of the legend. SCO Moon-ap is still angry. He doesn't understand why everyone keeps dragging him into Battlefield. Park Jin-tae begs him to agree to at least this. He promises to give the prize he received for the match to the donation funds for children who will like Co Moon-ap. The main character no longer knows how to refuse and therefore agrees, but only once. Park Jin-tae swears to keep his promise, and CEO Moon-ap says in response that even if the president comes to him in tears, he will not change his decision. The characters go for a snack, and Park Jin-tae apologizes in his head to Ko Moon-ap for lying in the last match with the U.S. national team. The South Korean team did not kill a single human opponent. It was confirmed on television that Ko Moon-ap really agreed to the match on condition of America's victory. The main character is going crazy because of this. Instead of showing his favorite dramas, all the news is trumpeting that he has changed his mind. He regrets even more that he didn't break off his relationship with Park Jin-tae before it all reached the point of no return, deciding to distract himself from what is happening on TV. Seo Moon-ap hears sounds from the yard and leaving the house, he stumbles upon Ha-young's workout. Baek Jo-ho instructs the girl, telling her what she needs to catch up in. After examining her with the eyes of analysis, Ko Moon-ap sees that in many ways she has reached her limit and will not be able to become stronger. Besides, she is weaker than her father at the same age. She will not achieve what Ji-ho wants. How Yona takes the place of a sub-dealer, which is completely ineffective for her. Ko Moon-ap begins to guess the real weakness of the South Korean national team in front of the United States, since even their ace Hyung is in such a sad state. Ko Moon-ap notices that the girl has reached her limit in the matter of dexterity, but Baek Ji-ho believes that she still has room to grow. Ko Moon-ap is besieging him because Ha-young is not him. The training that Baek Ji-ho did is not suitable for a girl. SCO Moon-ap instructs Ha-young, teaches that at the moment of capturing an opponent with a whip, she should not knock him off balance. She should finish off the opponent immediately. Ha-young should end single quotes be a sub-dealer like her father, so it's more important for her to become a sword master and be stronger. CEO Moon-ap conducts a masterclass on a training dummy, demonstrates how Ha-young should fight. After that, he decides that the girl from that day on from the sub-baler moves to the position of a nearby dealer and orders her to perform 500 strength exercises, which terrifies both Ha-young and Baek Ji-ho. Seeing the eyes of complete shock, Ko Moon-ap gets angry because of the girl's weakness and announces his decision to train Hyun for 2 weeks before the match on his own. Meanwhile, in America, Gerald Walker trains in a new style for himself, which is admired by John Kim, the agent and manager, because after visiting Moon-ap he became stronger and worked out his weaknesses. Gerald, according to John, has a chance to break into the top 3 if he can stand up to such speed. Dealers as Nathan from France. Gerald asks to transfer his new money into money, and according to Kim's calculations, $10 million comes out, and Walker immediately asks for this amount to be transferred to the account of Ko-moon. This turns out to be the cost of a consultation from a great hero. Walker asks to wait a little longer, and then he will definitely be back in the arena with Ko-moon. It's time for the match between the USA and South Korea. This moment is called historical. Whether CEO Moon will fight Gerald Walker again will be decided today. They represent the players of each team, among whom Ha-young is the only girl. It is the first time she performs in a different position. CEO Moon believes that she will be able to make the American national team. The location of the match turns out to be an ancient underground castle with 3-level dungeons on each floor of which there is a boss. The castle is called the Marta Borini Palace. The boss of the first floor is called Skeleton Warrior. On the second floor, there is a Death Knight, and on the third last floor, there is a Bone Dragon and Lick. For new viewers who are watching Battlefield for the first time, the rules are shown. To fulfill the first rule, it is necessary to destroy the opponent's team. The second is that hunting points can be obtained for killing a player or an opponent. The third is the rule about the aura. In order for it to be stronger, you need to score as many points as possible. The color of the aura depends on the number of points. Not enough points, blue color, and from blue it turns into purple, then into red, black, and finally white. These are the rules of the game. Players enter the playground. The first set begins, and the US team meets the skeletons guarding the floor. Without any extra gestures, they win and pass. On the USA team lacks mobility, but they are still better than the South Korean team. The audience is waiting for what the Koreans will be able to show. Ha-young moves ahead, intending to repeat what her uncle taught her in training. The coach set a course to kill the main boss. The Korean national team passes by all the low-level skeletons, and the audience sees that they have chosen a very aggressive strategy. Their plan is to score as many points as possible and kill the boss, thereby thwarting the US plans. It's very risky, but if it works out, then South Korea has a chance to win. And now, the Koreans meet the Skeleton Warrior, the first serious boss. An American intelligence officer reports that the Koreans have changed their strategy. The USA team is late, and as soon as the final floor boss is defeated, he will collapse. Gerald decides to end the hunt and move on to the main villain. But since he lacks speed, he uses his colleague's ability. The Kayan attacks the Skeleton Warrior. The others cover her. At this time, Gerald carries out an attack. Without warning, using the power of his partner to fly into the air, Ha-young is thrown away by a wind wave, and she becomes the first of the Korean national team to die. It's a shame, and the shock blocker admits that the strategy of attacking the final enemy right away was not bad, but it will not change the result of the match. He kills the Skeleton Warrior, and therefore the floor will close in 10 minutes. The Americans who appeared as if out of nowhere quickly melt away from the Korean national team. The first set of 5 ends with the score of 0-11. Full of sadness, Ha-young returns to the locker room of the national team, not believing that they have a chance to win back. But at the very door she freezes, hearing the voice of her uncle, who scolds the team in every way. He says that the chance of their victory, even with the millionth attempt, is 0, since their strategy was too simple and their skills are too low. He promises to help the team on the condition that they will listen to him, and even if it does not lead to victory, he will at least remove Walker. Ko-moon talks about the Martha Borini Palace, which he cleaned up together with the president of the association and his youth. The dungeon itself was not difficult, it was just too annoying, but he notes that it will be difficult for them with the skills of the Korean national team. So he suggests forgetting about the match and remembering the strategy. The previous plan could have been successful if the players had worked properly. The first line was that they had the task not only to kill the main boss, but also to monitor the enemy team. They completely forgot about intelligence. The second line did not cover the first one as it was confused because of Hai Young's death. There comes a heavy minute of silence. The team becomes discouraged. C regrets Bak Joho. Because the team is really weak, they don't even observe the basics of the game. But CEO Moon App clapping his hand says to forget about the first set and orders to listen to the strategy for the second. The game begins. The US national team is divided into two parts. The first will have to fight monsters, and the second, led by Walker, will kill human rivals. This is a great opportunity for Gerald to show all his capabilities using Moon App's new strategy. Hao Yong is as determined as she was in the first set. The Korean national team is rushing forward again, ignoring the monsters. US intelligence reports that the Koreans have not yet appeared, which means there is a chance that they will pass them on the way to the final boss. Gerald believes that it will be easier to drag So Moon up into the game because he fully sees the strategy of Korea. However, the wall next to his team collapses and the Korean national team appears from it. Americans do not understand where they came from here and how they were able to get through during the break. CEO Moon App said that there is only one way to the boss in this dungeon, and yet there is a secret passage in it using secret paths. Korean players will be able to attack the Americans in the back. Hao Young will have to fight with Walker. Moon App advises to aim at the legs since after replacing the shield with a smaller one, he has not yet got used to it and therefore this is Gerald's weak zone. However, he still remains a difficult opponent and the Korean national team will be able to take them only by number. CEO Moonep asks you to trust him. Hao Young gets a buff in the form of the help of his ally Concentrated Firepower. She's heading for Walker. Gerald has 2 murders on his account. Just like Ha Yong, the girl sneaks past him with the help of teleportation. The American team is cornered. Gerald asks for help from the rest of the team, but it will take time before they return. Gerald commits his 3rd murder, and then his 4th. The players become 3-8. The advantage is on the side of the Koreans. Ha Young lunges first, grabbing Gerald's leg with a whip and knocking him to the floor. The other 2 are killed by the Koreans. And before he dies, Walker realizes that Hai Young took lessons from CEO Moon App, thereby changing the style of fighting. Baek Jaha is shocked that the Korean national team has made a breakthrough by killing 5 US rivals, while CEO Moon App is completely satisfied that his plan worked. Gerald Walker is killed as the main character wanted. The second set ended with the victory of the American team. Despite all the efforts of the Koreans, the USA wins with a score of 5-11. The most memorable moment of the second set was the breakthrough of the Korean team. Through the wall in the center of everyone's attention and love is Baek Hae-young, who committed 4 out of 5 murders. She secures her title as the team's ace. Baek Joho gives an interview saying that even despite the loss, it turned out to be an invaluable experience for all participants. Baek Joho admits to helping Seal Moon App when it's time to come up with a strategy for the second set. Ha Young answers the reporter's questions. Next she talks about her uncle's training, about his idea to change his position, and CEO Moon App complains that both father and daughter conspired to drag him into Battlefield Park. Jin-T notices that SEO Moon App always gets angry when he's embarrassed. The main character tells him to go give an interview since he is the president of the association, but Jin-T replies that there is no interest or sense in the presence of the old man, the president of the association. Reminds CEO Moon Yep of the old days because thanks to the battle in the Martha Borini Palace, the Korean national team was able to make such a phenomenal attack. However, CEO Moonup has his own opinion on this matter. For him, it was a real fraud. Park Jin-T also praises the disclosure of Ha Young's talent. It definitely doesn't take a couple of days. He once again reminds of the dormant power of SEO Moonap, persuading him to continue using it. The man does not want to listen to the president. For him, it is a matter of one bet. Park Jin-T promises that this is the last time he persuaded Ko Moonup to become a Battlefield participant. But Before he finishes the main character must get him out. The professional league season will start soon, but the president does not ask him to participate, but only to hold a charity game with famous players before the season begins. Instead of giving another refusal, Seal Moonap promises to think about his proposal. Park Jin-tae understands that he has a chance to draw Ko Moon-up into sports because before that he refused with lightning speed. Ko Moon-ap explains this by saying that after Ha-young's performance, he saw a different kind of entertainment in Battlefield. Unlike watching dramas, this is also the only place where the main character can continue to fight, because there are no other dungeons in their world anymore. Park Jin-tae praises Seo Munyap for making the right choice, and then shows the latest uploaded video to the internet, which has collected 10 million views. Fans as one praise Ko Moon. He reminds the president that he only promised to think and not to participate directly. Seo Moon-ap still agrees to a charity match before the start of the league, although he has a feeling that nothing good will come of it. He sets conditions for the president, and the president, without even listening, immediately agrees to them. Already at home, Baek Jo-ho finds out about Park Jin-tae's offer and about his best friend's agreement for a charity match. Seo Moon-ap wants to tighten up his form, but remembering the preparation of the national team, he understands that he does not really need it. Baek Jo-ho is outraged that Moon-ap is trying to force him to participate, and this is a bag of potatoes on which he can train. Baek Jo-ho asks him to take it easy with him. After all, 17 years have passed since he last took up arms. Ko Moon-ap promises to return the old man to his former form in retirement. Even though the indicators of Baek Jo-ho have fallen in a decade, the main character announces to his new student a training session to go to hell and come back. The president of the association is considering two conditions with Moon-ap. The first of them is the desire to fight with Ha-yang on the same side, since he does not want to kill her even in the virtual world. Here is the end of part 2. Thanks for watching.